Hey guys, Jimmy in here, the acupuncture guy with Achieve Integrative Health, and we are going to resume our normal program and the daily power tips. And as things are opening up and all across the world, all across the U.S., and especially in Texas, we're opening up, a little faster. People are going back into their normal routines. They're going back to work and so forth. And so, that's why I decided that we'll resume our previous, segments on daily power tips. And once in a while, we'll throw in some of those interviews that we've been doing about local people and experts to continue to give you that information. But today, let's go back. Today is the Transformation Thursday. All right. Since I haven't done YouTube Live in a while, I don't know how to flip these characters, so I will verbally tell you what this is because it looks backwards, right? So Transformation Thursday, today we're going to talk about COVID brain. So with all this COVID situation, it's actually changed our brain. It's changed our mindset. It's changed the way we think. So just think about it. We've been stuck at home. We've been, working at home. We've been with our family, who is driving us insane. And so we need an outlet, right? Some of this, being shelter in is causing us, there's an increase in domestic abuse. There's an increase in psychological disorders because we're not allowed to, communicate, and more interact with other people. And so that causes a lot of strain on our psyche, right? And so what can we do to, reverse this? What can we get out of this COVID brain? Because I'm pretty sure, 6 months down the road, we're going to have a disease or a diagnosis of COVID brain, COVID weight, COVID this, COVID that, right? And so let's get a handle on it before it becomes a disease. So today we're going to talk about COVID brain. And so one of the things that a couple of my mentors, let me bring this down a little, a couple of my mentors over the years has really taught me is your psychology, dictates your physiology, and vice versa. Your physiology, you can see that. Let me lower this again. Your physiology can dictate your psychology, right? So this is really the permanent solution. If you're surprisingly being home, shelter in, a lot of people are getting more stressed than less stress, which is weird, right? Because we tend to, when we're at work and we're busy, we're like, oh man, I wish I could have more time to myself. I wish I could have more time with my family. Well, COVID kind of gave us that situation. But the result actually is different from what a lot of us expected. We thought we'd be more relaxed. We thought we'd be more enjoying our life. We thought, we'd be enjoying our family. And the opposite actually has been happening more than what we thought. And so, what can we do? Well, using this formula of your physiology, and your physiology dictates your psychology, or it influences your psychology. Your physiology can influence your psychology. So what that means is, from a physical standpoint, things that you can do to improve your health will change your mental health too. So a simple act, so I'm going to give you some strategies, tips that you can actually use. One of the tips is get out and walk. Get outside and walk and breathe in the get the sun. It's hot in Texas right now, so get out in the sun. Get out. When you're sheltered in, you're confined. Your brain, you're physically confined to like the walls, the roof in your house. You are confined to a small space. So that puts a lot of pressure, and it creates a lot of like claustrophobia within your brain, right? But then when you get outside and there's no walls, there is no limit to the sky, how big the sky is, then your brain actually starts to open up. And actually a lot of the stress, a lot of the frustration, a lot of the pent up anger, that starts to get released out because your capacity temporarily has increased, right? Based on, because now you're no longer confined to four walls. So that's one of the biggest things that you can do to improve your COVID brain. So other things, a lot of us have been binging on Netflix, right? Netflix is making a killing because everybody's watching Netflix at home. So things about, turning off the computer, to turn off the TV, get away from that, right? That also has blue light, which is detrimental to your eyes. So if you have eye problems already, eye strain, macular degeneration, retinitis pigmentosa, you have cataracts, glaucoma, the blue light is terrible for you. So get outside and look at the green. My mom and my dad have always told me, always get outside and look at the trees and the grass. Green is a great color for your eyes, right? And it also, for people who have green eyes, it is pretty cool, right? And so, not to get off topic, but you want to get outside. It just helps every aspect of your health. And so, other things that you can do to improve your psychology. So, the psychologists, our brain, COVID brain, is we are numb almost. Our brain becomes numb. Well, you want to get out and interact. Get it out, interact, whether it's through sports. I'm not saying through contact. I'm just saying through, interaction with talking to people, interaction with sports, getting involved, like all the swimming, the swimming pools are open, the tennis courts are open, all the parks are open. Get out into the parks, interact with people, interact with nature. It could be interact with with like nature and like pets, wildlife, and so forth, right? And so that will help reverse that numbness of the COVID brain, right? And so we also want to stimulate our brain a little more. Because of COVID brain, for those of us who have been stuck watching, not stuck watching, you choose to watch, whether it's Netflix, YouTube, TV, your mind is kind of just like blank, and not really thinking. Let's start getting some creativity, right? So if you like to draw, paint, start doing some of those things, right? Start doing the things to stimulate your brain. Reading, books. Books are huge, in stimulating the thinking process or the machinery within your brain. So these are the things that you want to start to do to really get out of this COVID brain. And so things that will also make you think, make you really ponder, like, problem solving. Go find some problems and see what you can do to solve them, right? Things that are going to stimulate the wheels turning and get your brain really thinking, exercising that brain. Because if you haven't been working from home, even if you work from home, you probably notice your production is less, right? It's been down. So you want to try to get into that, stimulation of getting your brain to exercise. So thinking hard is an exercise for your brain. Another thing that can also exercise your brain is the act of chewing. Okay, the act of chewing. So if I'm not saying eat unhealthy stuff, but like nuts, raw nuts. Get the act of connected to your brain, and it exercises there's simple things that this is so if you don't do it, right? And so implement these strategies. Let me know how it works for you, that numbness in that COVID brain to a more high functioning power and machine up here. Okay, guys, this is Jimmy Yan from Achieve Integrative Health. As always, everything in life is achievable.